Good evening, ladies, gentlefers, and my lovely NBs. We are here live for game two in Montana in Treasure State Arena as we go ahead and look at these top 24 players within the. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that. We're looking at the top 24 of this year. Duke it out. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How you doing, dude?
Doing good. Grab some water. Chance to rest the voice before this game too. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. Another 48 minutes of play between these rookies, as we're gonna see some of the bench players who had a chance to warm up in game one have an opportunity to play a little bit more here in game two and see if they can't produce the same kind of scoring uh, bonanza that we saw in game one.
Yeah, I gotta say that I'm pretty sure that these young players, even though they are young and they have a lot of energy, that can take a game like that could probably take a lot out of any player, really, especially with how well both teams have played offensively. But now we're going to see how they really test that we do swap things over within this game.
Yeah, I think the players are ready to get started, so we're gonna cut on down live and we'll dive into the new players starting in a minute.
Yeah, and as we get things going here, as the Stars able to get the win, as Foley will be able to get the nod for the start for the Stars. So now going over to Dunez. Dunez go for the quick mid to start things off, and he does get the and one opportunity as Fossil gets called for the foul.
Yeah, and like you said, game one, they had to keep in mind, they still had a game two to play. They need to manage their energy. They don't want to come into this game too tired already. Uh, so this is the opportunity they can definitely step up. We saw quite a few players stepping up off the bench already, so a chance here to really hammer home the point of what their skills are is Zhao Jing giving it up.
Yeah, and now Atwood with the rock, trying to find a way to get into the paint, lays it over to Fazio. Fazio is able to lay it up and in.
But
So both offensive possessions are good for both teams.
well, I was going to say that was a very dangerous pass from Atwood. I don't know how it found its way through the defense, but it did. You got to be careful with those kind of passes, though, in this kind of game.
And right now, Dunez getting posted up well, trying to look for a way to get it, but he gets stripped there by uh, Tahone, and Tahone's able to get the quick steal. Some good defensive effort there for the Big Badger. And now
Yeah.
Zhao Xing able to lay it up and in, and now the Elite are once again taking the first lead very early compared to game number one.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely some different faces on each team here. The Elites already taking the lead, and a quick play down low in the post is a quick back and forth already.
Yeah, already another lead change between the Stars and the Elite as both players from the bench seeing a nice good mix between the two as Lopez gets the quick screen. Lopez trying to find open, but loses the ball there, and it will be going over to the Stars. So some great defensive stop there.
Yeah, and I want to see if the defense plays more of an impact earlier. It took a little while in game one for the defense to pick it up, but game two already starting off a little bit more intense. Is a block there.
Yeah, good block there. Really just showing some good defensive effort here compared to the first game where it just seems like it's just an offensive slaughterhouse. So we might see, no, excuse me, you might see a little bit of a different energy here as now Fazio got the size advantage here and he will be able to lay it up successfully.
Is that hot dog you scarfed down during the break trying to fight its way back up?
No, I am completely fine. I got a water. Everything is good.
Well, if you do throw up, please aim to the left, not the right.
I will be fine. But Winchester not be able to get the basket on that possession. But Winchester's able to clean up with a steal there.
Well, keep in mind, this
And
is going to be another turnover. This is going to be a little bit of an odd game as we have 6 centers / big furs starting this game. So, there's a lot more bigs in the post.
Oh yeah, for sure. But we get a quick layup there for the Elite, and the Elite are solely trying to extend this lead up to only 3 points so far, 8-5 with 9 minutes left in the first quarter. So not as big of an offensive battle as we saw in the previous round, as Dunya is not able to get it down as Fazio gets the rebound. But we are starting to see the same thing as Kataguri fouls. So the Elite can extend this lead up to 5 with these 2 baskets.
Yeah, Atwood going to the line 4-2. Good on the first. Opportunity here to, again, we saw about free throws in the first game being so important to show, your nerves. It's the one shot in the game where you have no one impacting you. No one should be able to get in your head, and if you let them, that's not a good sign going forward. And an early timeout here from the Stars.
Yeah, and I think this is a little bit warranted considering the fact that the Elite have been doing a good job trying to draw the fouls within the paint as well. It just seems like they're being a little bit overwhelmed so far in the early goings of this game.
Yeah, a chance for them to talk it over without the pressure of having the shot clock against them, trying to drop a few plays for the next couple possessions. And like I said, this is a mixed chemistry. You're not going to have great connections with each other, and the missed shot there, despite attacking the basket.
Yeah, now the Elite has a chance to extend the lead up to 7. We'll see if that's going to be the case. But right now, Lopez getting guarded well. We're seeing quite a few movement under the basket. But now Lopez trying to see if they can find it open. And Zhao Xing. We'll see if Zhao Xing tries to show that he sees the prowess. He does so put a 3, but it's going to be in and out. So no good there for the Big Fur.
Yeah, the shot clock forcing the shot there. Not really his range at all. But, they had no choice there besides letting a turnover be generated.
Yeah, right now Winchester going for a tough mid-ranger, going over both defenders. Able to get that basket down. So now they're down within 3 again. So now Lopez passes it over to Zhao Xing. Zhao Xing trying to find a way to force his way into the paint, but is guarded very well. So having to go for a tough mid-ranger, but he is able to rattle it down. And right now we are seeing the range that Zhao Xing has, as he is known to be a stretch 5. And that's something you would like to see.
A stretch 5 currently playing the 3 spot.
Yeah, but hey, you got to take advantage where you can in some situations like these. And now the Stars are once again only down by 3. And we have seen the pace slow down quite a bit comparatively to the last game. As Fazio with the rock.
And we have to wonder how much of that was because of Linwood and Francois. The sheer scoring they put up early on, and it's Kataguri bringing it back within 1 now for the Stars.
Yeah, and now looking at the field goal percentage, the Elite doing a really good job, but the Stars not too far behind. Both teams pretty even so far when it comes to field goal opportunities. But now Tahone headed over to Atwood. Atwood going for that 3, but it's not going to be good there. But Fazio with a great effort there on the rebound as Lopez is able to answer right back. Some great effort there on the Elites to be able to extend the lead once again.
Yeah, that was a battle for the board, and you saw the Elites managed to come away with it and get that second chance opportunity. Big one there, and ooh, the double clutch saves the block, prevents the block. Nora able to get that second basket for her to fall.
Yeah, now the Stars only down by 2. As Atwood's bringing it up, trying to see if they can get by the defender, and Atwood not able to get it down. There was some good defense there by Sabathia as she's able to get the rebound. And we had some nice movement there going to Dunez, but even better defensive effort there for the Elites.
Yeah, I think attacking the post as a guard in this game is going to be a little bit of a disadvantage given how many bigs are on the floor right now. Might need to stretch their range just a little bit.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a tipped pass there, so it will be staying with the elites end, I believe. So they still have an opportunity to get a score, but only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. We'll see what kind of play they can come up with to possibly get a quick basket.
Yeah, you got about an inbound and maybe one pass available to you.
They did get a couple of passes in as Wolfgang having to go for a tough shot, and he is able to get it down, and they will count it as a 3 there. So the elite doing a good job with that possession.
Okay, that was just hot potato. I think the two passes traveled less than 2 feet between them.
Yeah, for sure. But they are able to get it down regardless, as we're going to see a quick lay-in there for the Stars. As Lopez. Looking to try and to see if they can find an open player, as Wolfgang does get the rock. Wolfgang getting by the defender. And it is going to be good for the mid-ranger, as now the elite is, again, back up by 5, 20-15.
Ooh, stripped.
Yeah, right now, yeah, Fazio with a great strip there. And now McCartney heading over to Lopez. Lopez going for a mid-range, and it's good. A long 2. And the elites are now starting to get a nice hefty lead, as they're now up by 7.
Yeah, Lopez stretching it out there. Already hit that 3 earlier, now getting the mid-range going. And that was a good in transition to find him open like that.
Right now, Parks calling for the screen. Will be able to get it. Try to get to the lean, but very tough there with the defense, but he is able to get it down. Oh, my bad.
No, sorry, no, I was thinking Lopez. And she's been able to stretch it out here tonight. And Parks answering back one-on-one like that is very good for him to be able to do, but you want to see some of the passing to open looks. Is no good on the other end.
Yeah, McCartney not able to get it down this time. McCartney had a really good game 1 coming off the bench, but now Kataguri is able to try to clean it up on the other end. So now the Stars really are trying to stay within this game. Now both sides as Lopez looking to aim, trying to get into the paint, but gets blocked there. But I was going to say, excuse me for that, but it's a category, but it's not.
Yeah,
but
Angel stepped out of bounds with the ball, unfortunately.
Yeah, Angel stepping out of bounds, so it will stay on the elite with a fresh 24. So that's not something you really want to see there from Angel.
Well, I mean, she got the block. It's just she lost track of where she was on the floor.
Yeah, for sure. But now Elite has a fresh 24 on their end. They have plenty of time to play with. As right now, we get to see a pass over to Hodgson. Hodgson go for a mid-range, and this is going to be good. And with that, they're now up by 6.
5.
Oh, 5. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
One of us went to college. I was going to say, Lopez, great court awareness. She knew she was going to get blocked, so she dished it out to Hodgson. And Hodgson was able to lay it up or take that mid-ranger and convert. But it's going to be the Stars answering back. Only 3 points here. They keep whittling away the lead after it gets built up to 7 or 8 points.
Yeah, now Oakland is coming off the bench here, and the amount of size that she has played a factor, especially late in the game for game 1. We'll see how well that's going to impact here in game number 2. As right now, Obi Violet going for a mid-range, and it's going to be good there. And now the Stars are only down by 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much of the bench players for this game, that had full starter minutes in game 1, does the fatigue start to weigh in, or did they get enough rest? And quick bucket there from, I think that was McCartney.
Yeah, McCartney doing a good job, continuing showing that offensive ability, even starting. So, with the Elite up by 3, we'll see if the Stars are able to tie it with a 3, or perhaps go for an old school 3-point play. But Obi trying to go for a little bit of a wild shot, but ends up losing the ball in the process. So now the Elite has a chance to extend it once again. And right now, Lopez going for the alley-oop, and he gets a dunk there for McCartney, as McCartney is really continuing showing his ability to show his athleticism there in that possession.
Yeah, that's just dirty. That's all I can say. Absolutely filthy. Throwing it from the corner like that. Is Parks going to answer with the one isolation play, able to lay it up and in?
Yeah, right now the Elite doing a great job offensively, and look at rely on McCarty a little bit, but it gets blocked there by Oakland. The size difference being a huge factor when that possession, as now the Stars have a chance to tie things up once again.
Well, if they go for a three, which they really haven't been too involved with in this game, it's been the Elites taking those long-range shots.
Yeah, and once again the Stars not able to convert there. So with this isolation play, it looks like on the final possession, we get a quick mid-range, and it is going to be good. So the Elite will be up by 5 at the end of 1, 30-25. Ooh, that almost went in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for it, but we see the Stars find themselves down a little bit here in the first quarter. Not too far, though. Plenty of opportunities with 3 quarters left to play. And the scoring definitely picked it up there in the final 6 minutes. You know, we did break the 30 mark for one of the teams.
Yeah, for sure. And really, I think things starting to pick up a little bit as we do see Francois, who had an amazing game 1, and he's continuing that onslaught with a 3 there, as the Elite are now up by 8.
Yeah, well, so we're going to see both teams. We got Linwood and Francois on the same team, which, you know, might be a little problematic if they decide to start scoring like they did in game 1. Gonna have to choose between the two of them. Who do you double team? You can't double team both of them.
And yeah, that kind of goes in. We get a quick reach-in foul on Parks, so that'll be his first personal of the game. But there will be no free throws on this one since it wasn't a shooting foul. So the Elite only has 17 seconds left on the shot clock to see if they can get a score here, as McCartney really trying to go in there, but it's going to be tough as Baylor gets the rebound and he gets it up and in, so it's good. So Brandon coming off the bench, starting off strong.
Yeah, and this time matching up against Oakland, getting the and one opportunity, able to convert there. 9 points now. Not the great way to start the second quarter, seeing that lead grow, but still plenty of opportunities for the Stars to get some defensive stops. And ooh, Baylor intercepting that bad pass there, an opportunity for the Elites to push it to double digits.
Yeah, using that big paw to just grab that thing right out of the air. So now the Elite has an opportunity to extend it even more to a double-digit lead. And right now Linwood hands it over to Francois. Francois going for a long 2, but it's not going to be good there as Oakland does get the rebound. And now Kamalo is able to do very well in the mid-range against Baylor. So now they have cut the deficit down a little bit with that possession. They're down by 7. But Francois getting blocked there by Oakland. Oakland using her size to her advantage with that block, as Angel's able to dunk it down on the other end. So now with the Stars changing the momentum slowly but surely, we'll see how the Elite kind of respond to that, as Francois able to go down the lane very easily, laying it up and in.
Yeah, 7 points here. Plenty of opportunities, especially if Obi starts hitting those threes again. We saw in the range coming out in game 1 from him, but now Amato was a bit quiet in game 1, even though starting.
We'll see if that changes there coming off the bench, but very tough shot there for Kent as the clock was going down. So good defense there from the Elite. And now they have a chance to extend it even more so if they're able to get this basket. And they're not going to get it down there for Francois trying to lay it up, but Angel is going to get the rebound. And Angel is able to draw the foul on McCartney with a blocking foul.
Yeah, and we're going to see mass changes moving around both teams.
Yeah, some massive substitutions, a lot of changes here. And now we're seeing Amato getting double teamed, dishes it over to Oakland. Oakland is able to draw the foul on Baylor, so she will go on the line for 2. Brandon doesn't look very happy with that call. But now Oakland is able to try to get on the line for 2 after drawing the foul. We'll see if she's able to go ahead and cut this deficit down a little bit, up to 5.
Well, you jinxed it.
I mean, you know, it happens to the best of us. But I will say here, for as we're seeing the Biz getting swapped, what kind of matchup are you very interested to see when we do see some bigs going in there with um, their right position?
I mean, it's going to be tough to say. I mean, there's also a lot of free agents in this upcoming free agency that, you know, I kind of want to. I like the divisional matchups, and I definitely feel like Oakland going against Turner would be very interesting to see. But I don't know if anyone. I think Bangor might be looking for a center
Ooh.
after trading away Tyrese, but I think that would be an interesting matchup to see. I kind of want to see some the new Scooney acquisition in Edmonton. Maybe see how Brandon matches up against him. It'd be kind of funny seeing Brandon going against his father's team and having to battle Scooney, who's been such a big name in the league for a decade at this point.
Yeah, that's have been very interesting, with a lot of storylines being set in stone already within the league, and free agency hasn't really started up until now. We are seeing quite a few offers within there, as Linwood not be able to make the second one, and it's just interesting seeing how a lot of these teams are game planning, especially with like Xavier getting a lot of interesting offers so far. Sabathia able to lay it up and in.
At 6-point game here, Elite. Can they answer back with another bucket and keep this lead? I mean, I want to see if they can build it to double digits and actually hold it going into the second half, or if the Stars are going to be able to keep pace here. And, you know, they've done well, and I would say considering the amount of scoring that potential that is on the floor right now for the Elites, the fact that they have not jumped out to a 10-point lead, I think says something about the Stars' defense right now, even though they will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, the Stars defense really doing a great job trying to make sure to keep it manageable, but right now the Elite are really attacking them within the paint for sure, after Francois able to get an opportunity here within the paint. We'll see if Francois makes the first one.
Look, you jinxed Oakland to miss 2. Please don't jinx the Panther to miss any.
I didn't jinx. Look, they made it. See, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't stop. I didn't say anything. I just said who's going to.
Do I need to get the spray bottle out? Do I need to get the spray bottle out?
Honestly, that would be very nice. It's a little hot in here, you know. I wouldn't mind getting sprayed.
Oh my lord.
Anyway, Alvaro Cajon is able to lay it up and in with that easy basket.
Well, there's the double-digit lead I was talking about.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing a couple of starters coming back into the game. So the Stars hoping to try and cut the deficit down back into single with Dunez able to go for a tough mid-ranger there. Really good opportunity to go for that spin move and getting that quick shot.
And the fadeaways are a little. We're seeing more players utilize them. We definitely see the European players seeing a bit more of that fadeaway Euro step kind of drive as well. Seeing it kind of seep into the league every year. And the defense are having to learn how to fight against it.
Yeah, right now Dunez going for a mid-range, and it's not going to go down this time as Francois gets the board, so the Elite could extend this even more so. And now Francois, and over to Zhao Jing. Chow. And to back up with a Francois. They have to do something with it with less than 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Francois going for a tough perimeter shot, and it's not going to go down as now the Stars has a chance to cut it down as we see Francois cooling down quite a bit after the first game, only making 2 field goal shots so far.
And Atwood getting the interception there. Pass that was a little too tight into the post, and now fading away is good. Zhao Jing.
Yeah, Xiaoxing having a very decent game so far in the first half. Really showing how well his mid-range is, as Dunya is going for a mid-range of his own, but it's not going to go down this time. Yeah, right now, Tejon able to lay it up and in. So right now, the bigs of the elites are doing a really good job against the Stars' big furs within this game.
Yeah, and they built up a 14-point lead, and now, Junius coming up short. The elite suddenly on fire, not really missing too much and generating the turnovers to get these free extra buckets.
Yeah, right now we see a quick foul there on Kataguri.
That's her third.
Yeah, and that's gonna put elite also in the bonus. So from here on out, with just 5.5 minutes left of the first half, the elite can pretty much go to the basket every time a foul has been drawn.
Yeah, the elite's now suddenly pulling ahead. We didn't see this till really the third quarter in game 1, but right now it just seems like the Stars are not able to find any consistency. They might need to. It does look like they've made some changes on the floor.
Yeah, we'll see if that really changes, as now Foley passing it over to Kataguri. Kataguri trying to get tough into the paint, but is getting defended well, but it doesn't matter there as it rattles home. And now, Zhao Xing getting defended well, but hitting the mid-ranger, but it's not going to be good this time as Winchester gets the board.
Can't walk away with empty possessions here, Stars. You got to attack the basket, and there we go.
Yeah, very much needed basket there, as now they have an opportunity, if they get to stop here, to cut the deficit down to 10. But of course, they need to get a stop here as Atwood hands it over to Alvaro. And now a lot of passing on the elite's end, as Zhao Xing going for a tough shot, and he is going to get the and-one opportunity as well. So Zhao Xing with 10 points so far into the game, and make that 11 after that one. So Zhao Xing having a really good game so far in the first half. So now we'll see if the Stars able to try and get things back to calm down, as Collins able to lay it up and in. And yeah, we're seeing both teams scoring very high in field goal percentage, as Alvaro heads over to Atwood. Great dish there for Alvaro, as they are able to get the basket there. And right now, the Stars are really struggling defensively.
Yeah, this 15-point lead is not being chipped away at all here. And a traveling violation on Dunius.
Yeah, not a good thing to see there for a young player like that. Seems like that he really did have an opportunity to get a good score there, but just too many steps. So now the elite has a chance to extend this even more so, as Wolfgang hands it over to Lopez. Lopez gets a quick screen. Trying to see if he can find a way to attack the lane, and he is able to do so there, as now the elite are up by 17. Fiorella doing a really good job there. Now Dunya's heading over to Winchester. Winchester dunks it down. So yeah, we are seeing that as this game goes down, you do see Hodgson with the rock. Hands it over to Lopez. Lopez with the mid-ranger, and it hits the side of the rim. But Zhao Xing does get the rebound, but not able to get it down. But a lot of second, third, fourth chance opportunities. They are able to eventually get the score, and now the elite are up by 17.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for the Stars, it's less about trying to come back, even though that's a great pass there. Now it's just about playing the best game you can, and I don't want to say being out for your own in the sense of you don't want your draft stock to fall because you're trying to force things.
Yeah, you just gotta play the game as best as you can and kind of understand the flow of things. I mean, good to have some individual efforts, but you also gotta show how much of a team player you can be in these situations. As Dunya is able to go ahead and dunk it down, and they are doing a really good job trying to find the open fur in the lane to go for those easy baskets like that. So, like I said, these games, the scoreboard doesn't really matter too much in these situations. It's just trying to find. It's just really situational basketball is what they're looking for. As Zhao Sing doing a really good job at putting a stamp on it. As 13 points already within 15 minutes. He's really been one of the main scorers for the Elite.
Yeah, great attacking the post, and even some of the mid-range strength we saw come out as Dunez trying to step up for the Stars, getting equal number of baskets, 11 points now for Dunez.
Dunez 11 points with being able to make half of his goals so far. Some good efforts by him, but now the Elite are hopefully looking to get something going, and we get another blocking foul on Winchester. So
bonus.
Yep, with the bonus being there, it's going to be a couple of more shots here for the Elite, and now we're seeing some substitutions as Zhao Sing will sit down as Brandon comes in. And meanwhile, for the Stars, they'll get some substitutions as well. And Fazio is able to get the second one down. So, the Elite up by a very good margin here within this game, 66-49. As Parks hoping to see if they can find some mix and magic for the Stars and decides to pass it up to Collins there instead of going for the basket. Very interesting choice as Angel tries to lay it up, but it's not going to be good there.
Probably thought the defender was closer than they were and hoped to give it to Collins, but ended up being an empty possession because of that.
Yeah, and now the Elites continuing doing a really good job on the onslaught offensively as Parks headed over to Obi. Obi going for the mid-range, and it is going to be good there.
Well, a chance to push this to a 20-point game should the Elites hit a 3 before this half comes to a close.
Yeah, that is a very strong possibility, but it looks like they're gonna like hold things off for a little bit until the end of the shot clock, and they're gonna go drive into it, and it is gonna be good there. So they are gonna be up by 19, depending on this possession.
Well,
and it looks like it's gonna get blocked
yeah.
there. So, yep, that's how we're gonna end this here. As get a nice half-court heave. And it's not going to be good, so the Elite are going to be up by 19, 70-51.
Yeah, great first half for the Elite, 70 points. Stars, you can't really complain either with a 51-point game. You're shooting 62%. It's just been the turnovers and second chance opportunities have just not gone your way, and that comes down to you need to box out more and be more careful with your passes.
Yeah, for sure. But also, you got to get some credit over to Zhao Sing and being able to use a lot of his reins to kind of stretch out the defense, because that's been a big issue for the Stars to handle. If we look over into the stats, as Dunya is doing a really good job with 11 points so far into the game.
Yeah, and the Stars are looking for someone to step up and take control. They had that in game one with Francois able to step in and really be the point carrier, but right now they haven't had anyone step up like that, and I think that's what they're missing right now. And I'm not going to say necessarily the Elites have had someone as dominant as Linwood, but it feels like they've been a little bit more productive, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, that is certainly the case here. I mean, looking into over to the Elite side, we're seeing a few players already in double digits. Lopez and Zhao Sing, respectively, having great showing so far into this game, and we are seeing a lot of great offensive efforts here between both of them.
Yeah, and like I said, the number of steals between that the elites have been able to pull out here, and again blocks. Hodgson 2 blocks already in only 9 minutes. If uh, not as productive in game one on the defensive end, but showing up, maybe using a little bit of that energy that they saved in game two here to be a bit more aggressive on the defensive side.
It's all about trying to utilize what you have in the limited minutes you do have within the game, as we do start off the second half with the elite having the rock. And right now, Zhao Xing trying to take the opportunity, as a lot of passes going along the perimeter as Atwood has it right now. Atwood does get the screen. Trying to dish over to Fazio, and Fazio not able to get it down, but Alvaro trying to clean things up a little bit, as once again the second chance opportunities is becoming a huge factor here, as Alvaro is able to get both of those boards.
Yeah, that's two
And
extra offensive rebounds and 2 extra shot attempts that he got there for free almost.
yeah, pretty much. But the Stars looking to try and answer back, as they do get the quick score, counter deficit back down to 19, as Winchester really making the most of the scoring opportunities, 4 for 5 so far in this game. Here comes Atwood, handing over to Lopez. Lopez going over to Zhao Xing. Lots of passing so far along the perimeter once again, and Lopez wide open for 3, and it rattles home. So now the elite already hitting the 75th point mark, and we're only 2 minutes into the second half of this game, and this is certainly they're on pace of going triple digits before the quarter's already over. And right now, Atwood with the quick steal. Atwood really showing the quick screen, heading over to Lopez. Lopez passes over to Alvaro. Alvaro trying to lay it up, and he is able to get it down there within the paint. So great shot there for Tejon, as that'll be his 8th point for the night.
Yeah, the elites have just continue to build this lead, and the Stars, you know, they need to pick it up on the defensive end, because they're not getting it done on the offense. And I don't know if they can make any massive changes on offense to start converting, even though that's a great way for Winchester. A little bit of a pump fake to get the defense to bite.
Yeah, Winchester doing a good job trying to get the gun, but now they're only down by 22. I say only, but they do need to get a couple of stops here to try and cut this very massive bleeding to cool down a little bit. But now the elite getting a pass over to Fazio, and Fazio able to get the easy bucket there. So now up by 24. So right now, Kataguri, she's trying to go ahead and get into the paint, but instead dishes it over to Foley. Foley does have a wide open 3, but it hits the side of the rim as Zhao Xing gets the rebound. So right now, you're seeing that the elite are just taking all kinds of advantage with 22 rebounds so far into the game, as Zhao Xing lays it up and in. And that's going to probably be the main factor into this game, is just the elite are just taking over the boards quite easily in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of expected the post to be a major play point, given the bigs that are on the floor, as Dunes puts up his 13th point. But, you know, it's just been going the way of the elite so far tonight.
Yeah, right now, Zhao Xing trying to go for a quick miss, but Fazio is able to get the quick lean up. Nobody boxed out Fazio whatsoever. So once again, elite with another easy second chance opportunity here.
Yeah, and like I said, that's just the end of the day. They're not able to close them out. They can't box them out.
Yeah, and now Kataguri doing the same thing, getting the easy bucket there, as the defense was very lacking for the elite on that possession. And so far, the elite trying to continue, but get a nice block on the Stars' end. And we'll see Sabathia able to take advantage of that as she lays it up and in and draws the foul on Zhao Xing. So great effort on both sides for Sabathia. And Sabathia is going to make the old school 3-point play. And you gotta like that from Sabathia if you want to see her stock rise within the top 24.
Yeah, and Carter now. Good game, game one. Fading away, able to make the difficult shot there convert. As field goal percentage has been
Yeah,
good for both teams. Like I said, just look at the difference in field goal attempts by the elites. They've attempted 10 more shots.
yeah, and that's kind of, it goes into the second chance opportunities that the elite have been able to get pretty easily. The size advantage is really becoming a huge factor within this game, as Foley trying to go for the mid-range is not going to be good there. And right now we are seeing the elite continuing to rack on up with another good shot within the paint. So now the Stars trying to see if they can try and relax things a little bit, as we get to see Kataguri going with the quick dunk, and that is a way to make some noise, as that'll be the 12th point for Kataguri.
Well, and going back to the stat we saw pop up, the Stars have had 0 offensive rebounds. The elites have had 7. Like you said, they're just not boxing out on the defensive side, and it's coming back to haunt them.
Yeah, for sure. And there were only a few seconds left on the shot clock. Have to go for a tough mid-ranger, and it's going to be good there this time. So as the clock was running out, really good shot there for Linwood. So now McDonald bringing it up for the Stars. Trying to get past the defender, and it's not going to go down this one. Some good defense there by Atwood, as he does get the rebound for the elite. And now Linwood hands it over to Atwood. And now McCartney, who's had a really good game too, does get the quick screen, as Atwood goes for a tough mid-ranger, and it's going to be going over to the Stars after McCartney trying to go for that offensive board, but it just tips out of his claws.
Yeah, like I said, the blocks tonight for the elites have just been unreal, and we'd like to see a little bit more of that, obviously. For the Stars, I think Oakland coming back in would be a good opportunity to clamp down in that post, and Stars need to show up and maybe try and get this back to in the teens instead of the 20s.
Yeah, that's probably the goal here. As Kataguri is able to dunk it down, that'll be a good way to do that. As Kataguri with a clean up dunk there for that possession. So they are going to be down by 23. So if they get a couple of stops here, they could possibly do that. But it all depends on how well they defend here, as Carter looking to possibly go for a mid-range, but it ends up traveling there. So an unforced error.
Yeah, the Frog's not going to be happy about that call, getting called for the travel on that. That's the second travel we've had tonight, in fact. Not from them. I believe it was Dunez that got called the first time.
Yeah, so both teams got a call for a travel each, but Obi Violet able to dunk it down. Really trying to take advantage of that one, as they all are down by 21. So right now, the Stars looking to try and get a little bit of momentum back on their end, but Atwood decides to dish it over to Wolfgang and hands it over to Carter. A lot of passing here as Baylor has it. And now Wolfgang pass it over to Carter. Carter for the long two, and it's going to be in and out. At Kataguri does get the rebound. And it just seems like the Stars are going to have to fight for each rebound, trying to prevent any more second chance opportunities there, as the Stars are now finally able to cut the deficit down back to the teens as he requested, as they're now only down by 19.
Question is, can they hold it there?
That is the question, and it might not be the case, as Atwood is able to lay it up and in.
10 points for Creed tonight already. Plenty of time to add to that total.
Yeah, right now Amato hands it over to Oakland. Oakland hands it up to Parks. Parks gets the screen, has Oakland wide open, and it's gonna be good. Took a nice height advantage for the Big Bird, as she's able to go ahead and cut the deficit down back to 19. So now with Atwood handing over to McCartney. McCartney heading over to Baylor. Baylor laying it up, and it has been good for Brandon. And right now, even with the limited minutes that Brandon has had, he's able to get the baskets when it's requested from him. We'll see if that continues as Stars looking to hopefully cut the deficit down once again, and he is able to do it against Baylor right there.
Yeah, back and forth we go, but now it's the defensive stops that are required against the Elite.
Yeah, for sure. And now Atwood hands it over to Wolfgang. A lot of passing. McCartney getting guarded very well against Oakland. Oakland using her size to her advantage, but somehow, some way, McCartney is able to get around that.
Yeah, I mean, shot clock winding down was still not able to stop McCartney from getting that score going, and now on the other end, great little teardrop there from Amato.
Yeah, Amato being able to bring it up to 76, as that's ironically their number. But now we'll see if Atwood's able to try and get things going. As Atwood tries to lay it up, and it is going to be good. So Atwood hasn't made too much, like 12 points is nothing to scoff at, but considering the offensive prowess that the Elite has been showing, it hasn't been the biggest, but the Elite doing a really good job. Everyone's scoring from everywhere insofar in this game.
Yeah, and, you know, the Elite about to break that 100 mark. We saw that in Game 1. It's really just been the Stars not able to keep pace with the Elite this go-round. And, again, I think it's the lack of a dominant scorer stepping up here in this game, too, that has held the Stars back a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, like playing 2 games in one day can really do a lot for a player. Like no matter what, you're trying to show that same effort you have. It can be a little bit tougher in the second go around, no matter how many minutes you played between these 2 games. But right now, the Elite really trying to take more of an advantage here, even if with the amount of exhaustion. As Francois looking to pass it over to Brandon. Brandon does have the size advantage and will be going toe-to-toe, and he's able to lay it up pretty easily with that basket.
Yep, now they're 1 point away from breaking that 100 mark before this quarter ends. Stars, you got to make goals for yourself. You know, small hurdles you want to overcome. In this case, I think stopping them and preventing them from breaking 100 can be the first goal for this quarter. You know, let the quarter end, stop them in the next 2 possessions.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one here. They get a tough shot, and that's not going to be able to do it that time, as they will break the century mark before the third quarter, as they're now up 101 to 78. I think the big thing here is just, honestly, when you're at this point of the game, you kind of have to treat each possession as if it's 0-0 at the end of the day. Try to continue to try and show that same effort as they did there in that possession, because it does seem to be out of reach before the fourth quarter even begins. So that's just kind of like the mindset you're going to have from this point out if you are a star player.
And Baylor able to work his way for an offensive rebound and unable to convert, though. And right there, again, the team has struggled with boxing out. And, you know, you have to go into the mindset of this next game is, Park's able to at least lay in the buzzer beater. That, you know, going into this fourth quarter, okay, we're going to box out. We're going to stop them from getting a single offensive rebound. You know, you have to address the issues that are causing you to fall behind. And it's been the offensive boards that have really gone against the Stars here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that you're going to have to look into as we are getting into the late game here. But I do imagine, considering how things have gone within the quarter, you might be able to see some of the bench players play a little bit more in this case, but we'll have to wait and see, as we are starting the fourth quarter, as Dunez gets blocked there, as the Elite will continue on from there. So now Lopez waiting for the play to get run. Lopez trying to find a way to get to spin past his defender, and it's not going to go down this time as Dunez does get the rebound. And now Parks going for the tough mid-ranger, and it's going to hit the side of the rim as Wolfgang gets the rebound.
Yeah, both teams missing their first possessions here to start this quarter. Not the best way, especially for the Stars, but matchup against Basio in the post is too good, and even with the difficulty of the fadeaway, the defender had no opportunity to put even a finger in the face.
Yeah, for sure. As we see Collins heading over to Dunez. Dunez trying to look for some kind of opening here, but instead had to take it on his own, and Dunez not able to get it down as Fazio once again with another board. So kind of fast forwarding over as we start heading into the draft in itself. What are some teams that you are looking at when it comes to possibly doing some pretty interesting trades with the amount of picks that they have?
There's already been so much all over the places. Ooh, shot clock violation, not great there. I mean, the fact that LVG jumped up to number 2, I think, is interesting, and I want to keep an eye on who they're looking at. You know, they had to get rid of a strong player in Gale to do that. So who do they see being in the top 5 picks that they really want to bring onto the team? Obviously, they need a potential center if they are not going to bring back Nikolai Volkov, but they might still offer him a contract. We haven't seen anything yet. But other than that, Hawaii. I have no idea what Hawaii will do with their first overall pick, considering how much they've gutted their starting lineup. Literally anyone could be selected at number 1, and it would be a good selection.
Yeah, for sure. They have cleaned the entire slate here. And hey, speaking of Las Vegas, I wouldn't be surprised if they would like to trade for the number 1 spot, because they do have 2 first-round picks, especially with one as high as number 2. So they don't really have to offer that much. They have a total of 5 picks within the draft this year.
Well, unless there's one player that they really, really want. I mean, the fact that there's so many centers we've talked about, I feel like they could almost just say, okay, well, even if we get our second choice, we're still going to get a great player. I mean, maybe if there's one player that stands out above the rest in their minds that's worth giving up a pick, because the good news about having all those second-round picks is definitely the fact that you can get some good talent for 2 years on a fairly cheap contract.
Yeah, for sure. As you know, second-round picks, I believe it's like 1.5 to 1 million
1.5
within those picks. Yeah, 1.5 depending on where you land at, but yeah, for having a cheap contract like that for 2 years, especially if you have picks that are in the early in the second round, can be pretty huge. As you're going to see another basket made for the elite, as Lopez already close to 20 points so far.
And she's getting it.
Doing
Well, I was going to say, she's doing great even with the assist. You saw there 6 assists on top of the 18 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get not a good shot there from mid-range. Yeah, right now, Lopez has the rock one more time. And the pass over to Zhao Xing. Zhao Xing going for a mid-ranger, and it is going to be good there. So Zhao Xing really utilizing the range that he has within this game, showing a lot of interest for a lot of teams, I imagine, with the effort that he's done so far.
Yeah, and like I said, the lead's still hovering around that 20-point mark. You know, as we've gone under 8 minutes left to go now, it's a very slow mountain that they're attempting to climb, and they need to pick up the pace a little bit if they do want to get this back to a respectable difference before the end of the game.
Yeah, for sure. They are down by 19, but Zhao Xing quickly making it back up to a 21-point game as I say that. But yeah, so far, you gotta give credit where credit is due to the elite, because that's another, like, as much as we do like to see teams that want to try and come back to make things a little bit more interesting, there's also things we have to look at when it comes to having a hefty lead like this and making sure that stays around in that range for a majority of the game. It just kind of shows that how well they've been able to stay consistent offensively within the board. So that's something you have to take note of as well. You want to be able to look at when it comes to games like this.
Yeah, a double team against Nunez. I mean, uh, has been putting Nunez has been putting up a good amount of points, but not necessarily shooting the most efficiently. But still, I think the top scorer for the Stars here.
Yeah, right now, Fazio hands it over to Lopez. Clock winding down with just about 6 seconds left of the shot clock. So we're seeing a lot of passing so far for the Elite as Lopez go for a tough shot as the clock is winding down. It's not going to be able to make it this time as Winchester gets the rebound. And you got to say is Winchester not able to make the basket on the other end. So we will see the Elite continuing on, getting the opportunity as Alvaro going for a tough mid-range. It's not going to be good, but once again, Fazio able to clean things up. So
Second
we're
chance.
still seeing the second chance opportunities go over to the Elite side as they have a chance to go ahead and cut it up to 30, but with that shot for the Stars, they are preventing that from happening.
Yeah, I mean, Stars have picked it up on offense, and now they need to actually pick it up on defense as well because they just have not had the opportunity. And right there again, box out. Tahone able to just lay it up and in after the second chance.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you got to look into is just the amount of size that a lot of these players have on the Elite side, as the Stars will call timeout here in this situation. And really though, that's kind of been like the big thing is the amount of second chance opportunities because they just having a very tough time struggling trying to box these guys out.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great game such far on the offensive side for the Elites to really look at and be like, hey, look at how aggressive we can be on the crashing the boards. And it's just the Stars have not capitalized. Because here's the thing, when your opponent crashes the boards on offense, that means that they're leaving fast break opportunities for you if you can box them out and actually get the rebound. But they just have not been able to do so tonight. And Creed, 16 points, getting it done also on offense. And honestly, I think the Elites have done a better job of spreading the points around this game.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're seeing plenty of players hitting double digits within this game. They're just playing some very sound team basketball here. Meanwhile, for the Stars, not able to get the basket down there for Foley. As right now, the Elite has a chance to extend this lead even more so.
Whew. Called it for the reach in.
Yeah, Sabathia with the reach in, so there will not be any baskets here. It will only still stay with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. And now Fazio hands it over to Lopez. Lopez, quick screen. Tough mid-range, but it gets blocked there. Nice block there. I believe that was Sabathia with the block. And Kataguri going for the mid-range, and that's going to be good. So they do cut the deficit down to 17. So we are seeing a little bit of an offensive effort late in this game as they are slowly cutting it down.
And then immediately another second chance opportunity almost went the way.
Almost. Yeah, it was almost a third opportunity after that miss. But Winchester looking to possibly cut the deficit down even more so. And now we're starting to see things pick up for the Stars as they do have the better field goal percentage. But again, looking at the attempts is the big factor here. And now Elite is able to try and slow things down a little bit after that bucket for Lopez, and that will be her 20th point.
Yeah, I mean, Stars definitely picking it up here, but you saw it took 3 of them to box out Tejon to actually get that rebound, but now they actually need to convert these opportunities if they want to get it back to even single digits. I think that'd be a win for them. Obviously, it's not a win, but getting it back to single digits after being down by 20, I think 5 at one point, would be a massive moral victory for the team and the players.
Yeah, for sure. With only 2.5 minutes left of the game, we are seeing the Elite going for a tough 3, and it's not going to go down as Sabathia doing everything they can to get it, but it looks like it will be staying on the Elite's end. So the Elite has a chance to extend this back up to 19 if they make this basket.
And the alley oop.
And that's gonna
Ooh.
be a miss there for Fazuo. So now the Stars are trying to extend this up, and they do get the old school 3-point opportunity with the basket there. And they will be able to make it. So now they're only down by 14. So, like I said, if they are able to make it within 10 points, that'll be a huge victory, moral victory for the Stars. But of course, they need to have more effort defensively, as Lopez doing a really good job offensively, especially within the paint.
Yeah, 22 points for her already tonight, and definitely stepping up on the elites end is Nunez not able to get that bucket to fall, and I feel like the elites are about to pull away here at the as the clock's about to strike midnight for them. Only
As Atwood going for a mid-ranger and is not going to go down this time. So the Stars looking to possibly cut the deficit down even more so, as they are down by, I think it's 16, as Nunez going for the mid-range. It's not going to go down this time, as Lopez gets the rebound. So as we're winding down, what player has been very impressive so far within this game number 2? Oop, as Winchester is able to get the turnover.
I mean, a ball to the back of the head's not fun, but at least you came up with it. I don't feel like any one player has, jumped out too much. I mean, obviously from the elites, I feel like the two top scorers, Atwood and Facio, and actually third as well is. I'm gonna have to look at the stats at the end of the game, but I feel like the elites have played just a better overall game. Lopez, that's what I was thinking, put up great scoring. I mean, and they did it from all ranges. Lopez getting it done from the paint, I think 12 points now, but also getting it done from beyond the arc and mid-range is great. I'm a little surprised the centers weren't as impactful, but then again, maybe there were just too many of them today in this game to have that impact here.
Yeah, I mean, especially with some of them playing a little bit out of position within the game, they had to kind of make the most of what they could with the opportunity that they have, even though they're not likely to play small forward very often in their careers, I imagine. As Kataguri does get the rebound here, and that will pretty much just about do it, as Sabathia trying to go for a dish to Foley to possibly get a final shot off. Foley does end up getting blocked. It's Sabathia not able to get it down. So we are going to finish up this game 123 to 109, going over to the elites.
Yeah, 14-point game in the end, not too bad. And we're diving into the stats now. I definitely feel like Dunas was forcing it there. Category 11 for 12, great productivity on the floor tonight. Parks
But
almost a
yeah,
double-double, 8 assists, getting it, helping contribute a lot of points even off the ball.
yeah, and we do see a lot of good field goal percentages for some of these players that play limited minutes, like Violet and Angel, being able to take advantage of their limited minutes in this game. But you got to imagine that the big thing for the elite is just the disparity. I mean, look at how well they've been able to split the differences, with Lopez with 24, Fazel with 16, Zhao Xing with 19. It just seems like a really good split between all three of these players.
Well, yeah, we haven't even gotten down to the rest. I mean, Atwood 16. Uh, I'm pretty sure Tejon 12 points, 6 rebounds, 4 of which were offensive. I mean, he generated so many second chance opportunities coming in. Wolfgang perfect from the floor. Like I said, the elites here in game 2 definitely split the ball a lot more, but we also saw so many extra opportunities thanks to those not the best boxing out coming out from the Stars here tonight.
Yeah, so we see some great games here, even with like the technically it starts from last game. Francois and Baylor doing a great job with the limited minutes as well, as we go into the overall stats. And really, the elite has just took the lead and never really looked back with how things have gone. And even though that the Stars were able to do much better in the second half offensively, it's just that the early the early onslaught that the elites have put into that game was just too much to catch up with.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna harp on the second chance opportunities we saw. Look at how many offense. The Stars eventually started getting some offensive rebounds, but at one point it was 7-0, and it ended 13-5. You know, uh, the Stars actually shot better. It's just they could not stop their opponents from getting those extra chance opportunities, and they never got started from the 3-point range. 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, and then the elites managing to get to the free throw line so many times. 11 for
Mm-hmm.
12. The fact that it's
Yeah,
closer than the fact that it is only a 14-point game is surprising. Just looking at the sheer stats that go in favor of the elites here tonight.
yeah. I mean, that's why their biggest lead was 26 at one point. But at the end of the day, it is the combine. It is only the combine game. It's more of a showcase than anything else. And really, both sides have done a pretty fair job with their respective time on the court. And I think that even though that the scoreboard shouldn't really matter too much, they should be able to hold their heads high because there was a lot of offensive power within this game, and you know they made the most of their opportunities.
Yeah, and now we're just going to see how the teams digest these games. And I mean, again, we talk about it being just one, in this case, two games of their entire career. How much do you actually weigh in a performance here tonight compared to the 1 to 3 years, 1 to 4 years that they played in college, how they performed
Hmm.
overseas? This definitely gives you a little bit of a look at potentially how they stack up against each other.
Yeah. I think it also kind of just goes to show of like how well a certain player can play in whichever situation that they end up being in, whether it's having a chance to play in a with a franchise like Hawaii, who is completely ready to go ahead and move on to their next chapter uh in that franchise, or if it's a team like Dakota who's already have their starting lineup basically set and ready to go to possibly be a good player coming off the bench, being a reliable role player. So being able to see how these players kind of react to the position that they end up being in, I gotta say it's certainly something to be interesting to look into. But now that the combine has officially is done, it's gonna be interesting how these teams are able to look at these young rookies compared to what's out there in free agency and how they're gonna be able to strategize because there's always already some very interesting um bidding wars that we see so far in free agency. But the biggest thing that's going to affect that is going to be how the draft is going to be coming as we are only a few days away.
Yep, September 15th will be round one, and like you said, it's going to really come down to, um, plans are going to change. Teams may not have expected a certain player to still be available when it comes to their time. Example, a Bangor with the eighth overall pick. They are technically in the market for a center. If one of the centers of this class ends up falling to them that they really like, that may completely change their free agency plans. If something just falls in their lap, or they may decide to take a reach and try and trade up even further if they really like someone after seeing the combine games and the combine itself and their interviews, if someone really stood out to them. So there's a lot of opportunities for some shenanigans before the draft and in free agency as a result of the draft to still be ahead of us.
100%. But I think that's pretty much enough basketball for one night, I'd say. So it's been a really good pleasure to have everybody come over and see these young furs really trying to make some noise here as they get ready to prepare for the draft.
Yes, thank you all for tuning in. We will see you again for Halloween, and that will be a little over a month and a half away. But uh, sorry, I lied. Yeah, a month and 3 weeks roughly. We'll be there before we know it in the end.
Yep.
Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.